Step one, before we start using our reins for, let's say, shaping, let's say I want haunches in, or if I want shoulders in, before I start using my reins with love, language, and leadership, and with lightness, I better learn how to use my feet. Here's a little secret, you ready? Horses, dancing, and soccer are all foot games. It's about your feet, it's not about your hands. But because we're primates, we think it's all about our hands. Monkey see, monkey do. So what I want you to be able to do is to learn how to do this. I want you to learn to use your reins by lifting straight up. I'm going to show you this weekend. I'm going to teach you this weekend. If I want my horse's hindquarters to move, I'm going to put my leg way back there. I'm going to move his hindquarters around. Let's say he moves too much forward. I'm going to lift straight up. If I can lift up and slow that left front foot down, okay? But I got to use my legs. I've got to be able to make a turn to my right by pushing his tail to the left. Watch this. I'm going to put my right leg way back. I'm going to push his tail around. This is slider, by the way. And I want him to be able to move his tail around in a circle. Move his hindquarters around and move his tail. All right, so if I do a round turn like this, and if I want to move the front end, then I'm going to take this leg over here instead of this leg, and I'm going to push the front. I'm going to ask him here now, after he's moved his front, hindquarters, to move his front around. All right? So what we've got to be able to do is use our legs in such a way that our horse, that 80% of all of our communication is done with our legs. So let's say I'm walking down here, and let's say I want to sashay over here, okay? I should be able to use that leg and slowly push him over. Let's say the front end goes too much, I just take this leg and say not so much. I want to just leg yield over a little bit. Let's say I want to go that way. So I should be able to take this leg and say, and right in the middle, and say, let's sashay over that way. We've got to have some basic yields. I'm going to be able to use my legs to go backwards, okay? So I'm going to put a little rhythm up near his shoulders. We call that section A, okay? So if I can't go backwards and forwards, oh, by the way, we've all been told 5 lies. Just catch your horse any way you can, saddle him up and get on, kick him to go, pull him to stop, and use the reins to turn. Watch what happens when I kick my horse to go. But if I squeeze, if I smile with all 4 cheeks and turn that smile into a squeeze, I can go. Then if I quit riding, relax. Who's ever gone roller skating or ice skating before? You ever see the cool guy that knows how to roller skate backwards, how he gets that look on his face? If you want to ride backwards, you've got to, if you go backwards, you've got to be able to ride backwards. And most people, when they ride backwards, they're pulling on the reins, and they actually lean forward, and they look like a monkey kissing a football. So, because we're primates, we are monkey see, monkey do learners. So we see people doing it unnaturally. We see people following tradition. We see people following rules. So what I'd like to do is share with you the secret to horses is preparation on the ground and then learning how to push. So what I'm going to share with you on the ground in just a few moments is going to be a lot of pushing, all right? So now, in 1984, I believe it was, I saw Ray Hunt, actually 1982, I saw Ray Hunt take his lariat rope, and he was on a colt, and he took it, he split the, and he pushed the horse around like you would like take your hat and kind of push your horse around in a circle like that, okay? And I thought, man, that was really cool. And he was riding this colt out in an arena like this, never been ridden before, and he's shooting him around, pushing him around. I thought, that was really cool. So I started, I'm a primate, so I'm monkey see, monkey do. I started doing it. I started learning how to do it. I'm getting pretty good at it. I get asked to be the presenter at the Sacramento State Horse Fair, right? State Fair, excuse me, not State Horse Fair. It's the State Fair, doing demonstrations in their cavalcade arena. 13 days in a row, every day for about an hour. They bring me a problem horse or colt to start something. They bring this 6 or 7-year-old mare. It was a problem horse, and I'm playing on the ground. I'm doing all this cool stuff. I get on her and I'm riding. I got my lariat rope, and I'm going along, and I want her to go left. So I reach over here and go like this. Just as I did it, leaning forward, she bucked. I landed way over there on my knees, and both of my knees swelled up so big, I had a real true case of measles. And so I thought, that's silly. What could I do so I don't have to lean forward to push him around? So then I decided, why not come up with something I could push the horse with? And so I got to where all of a sudden I could sit back here and I could push my horse around in a circle. You see? Instead of turn my horse with my rein. But all of a sudden I started to discover that I've been doing it backwards all my life. I've been pulling on him, kicking on him, leaning to turn. When it was that simple, all I had to do was push him around. Then I thought, well, if one stick is good, why not have 2 sticks? And all of a sudden, this thing called long body logic. What I'm going to share with you today is long body logic. Is to lengthen your body. Now, these are about the same length as the reins. Oh boy, he's all right. He's all right. He's all right, buddy. These are the same length as the reins. And the reason we have reins is so that we don't have to lean forward and put our fingers in the bit. Okay? So somebody had long body logic a long time ago. So what I started to do is started to realize that I could push my horse over here. I could push my horse over there. I could do all of these things, and the combination of not using the reins to pull him around. Listen to what I just said. In combination of not using the reins to pull him around, I started pushing him around and using my legs. So I started pushing my horse backwards even. See, I'm kind of pushing him out here, and then I could get rid of this one and push his front end over there. I could back him up like this and get rid of this one and push it over there. Next thing you know, things started happening really, really fast for me, really efficiently. Horses started responding. I started being able to play with horses that nobody else could play with. I'm going to share with you on the ground a little bit how to do this, but I want to show you the product, what you're after. We can get really good at using our legs, putting our left leg back, say, moving the hindquarters around. I want to slow it up. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to take it over here, push it over there. If I can do that, then pretty soon I can start to get some pretty cool results. And then I started learning how, when I first showed you, when I first came in here, I started to demonstrate again. Let me show you. I was lifting my reins. You ready? Watch. If I want to canter, listen, you got to pay attention. Because most everybody does it backwards. They lean forward to canter. Watch what I do. You ready? Say the word now when you see his front end lift up in the air. Because when I canter from a walk, he has to lift up. Ready? Say the word now. Say it. Watch. When he lifts. Watch him lift his front end. Do you see how backwards it would be to lean forward? And he has to lift. Raise your hand if you just learned something. Because 99.9% of all people lean forward when they want to canter. And didn't Pat really just say, if you want to be really good at horses, watch what everybody else does and do the opposite. Hey, everybody try this. Ready? Put your right hand in front of you. Everybody like this. Fingers together. Thumb forward. Everybody, now put it on your chin and go, Wow. And there are people who give riding lessons. And people charge people to tell them how to do it wrong, how to do it unnaturally. So if we can get to where those reins are for lifting and shaking, let's say we want to do a canter hard, and now watch. Let's say I want to do a lead change. I'm going to lift up, put his shoulders over, and go over here. Lift up, put his shoulders over. Instead of leaning in the direction. One time I was doing a clinic in Southern California, and this gal said, my horse always gives me the wrong lean. Because she would do this, you ready? She would lean to the left to watch the front end. The horse would give her a right lead. She'd lean to the right, and she'd give her a left lead. Because the horse was doing exactly what she asked. So if we can understand that everything with horses is about lifting and pushing, everything has to come from our seat. If I want to walk slow, I've got to have a slow seat. If I want to walk fast, I've got to bring up the energy, not kick her harder. Then if I want to walk slow, I've got to bring it down in my seat. So if we can learn how to use love, language, leadership, communication, understanding, and psychology. So now let's just talk about horses are prey animals. They've got a fisheye lens. So this is why these little, who's ever seen a horse be afraid of a little piece of plastic and mistook it for a saber-toothed butterfly? Huh? Because they've got a fisheye lens, because they have a trifocal lens, they want to see a long ways away. They look through the bottom of their eye. They want to see right there. They do this at the top of their eye. Who's ever seen a horse do that? Huh? Because they've got to look through like I wear my little reading glasses. I have to put them on and look there to see things up close. If the horse wants to look right there, he just looks out the middle, 3 strides out of the canter. So not only that, they've got a horizontal iris. We've got round ones that go in and out and contract. Theirs goes the other way. They see the world completely different. And on top of it, they've got monocular vision, an eye on each side of the blind spot in the middle. And people can't, they see their horse, one doesn't want to cross the water. They say, can't you see it's only 3 inches deep? Horse is going. Because people think like people instead of thinking like horses.
So my job is to go around the world with
Inspiration and information. Get people to want to be a horse. I was always a good rider. When I was 17 years old, I was the rookie of the year in the rodeo industry in Bear Brook. I had a 14-year professional rodeo career, 98% wide record over 3,000 horses. I was a good rider, but I didn't know how to ride and slide and spin and win and turn and burn. I didn't know how to communicate with horses. I could stay on them, but I couldn't get them to do anything I wanted. So what I'm here to do is to share with you what's been shared with me. And I promise you, it's about lifting and pushing. So we get good at pushing our horses. So sit back and push the horse into a canter. Push your horse to the left. Push your horse to the right. If we can get good at pushing, then we can get good with horses. Because horses have long bodies. We have tall bodies. Horses have long bodies. So if I just do this, look, my body's longer than my horse. So what I use are different. I use attitude, knowledge, tools, techniques, time, and imagination. This weekend at the clinic that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to share with you the positive, progressive, and natural attitude that we all need to get the knowledge. And then be able to use tools in a certain way and techniques. And how to time it, how much time it takes to get good at with horses. And Einstein said imagination is even more valuable than knowledge. So what I want you to do is be able to do that. I found out, I wrote my book, 1990s, the Western Horseman book called Natural Horsemanship, sold over 1 million copies so far. There's 52 million horses in the world today. There's about 12 million people. So 1 million people have read that book. So I've got 13 more million, or 11 more million people to go. So I'm here to do this, and I've done this presentations in front of over 2 million people, live audiences, including President Reagan, Tom Selleck, Anthony Robbins, and the Queen of England. I was her birthday present 15 years ago. She asked me to come and share with her how to use horse psychology. She had 3 problem horses. I was her birthday present. The cake that I came out of was huge. So what I'd like to share with you. So now I'm going to deconstruct this. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the ground, and I'm going to share with you some things that I would like you to understand, because if you understand what the product is supposed to be, then your process doesn't have to look like the product, but you'll always be heading towards it. Just think about this. Somebody cuts down a tree, a big tree, and they see inside of it a carving You've seen those, that we go down the road, you see a carving of a guy with the wood carving with the chainsaws, they got bears and raccoons, and somebody sees inside that log, okay? But just think about the person that's cutting that tree down. The moment they see it, they go, that's gonna be a perfect one for that bear that I wanna carve. That one over there is gonna be perfect for that eagle I wanna carve. So what I want you to think about is being able to use your attitude, knowledge, tools, techniques, time, and imagination. So now what I'm going to do is go to the ground, take the saddle off, and I want to share with you how I might go about doing some of these things on the ground so that I get the result that I've got now. So how would we teach our horse to know to go backwards? Horses are pattern animals. And there's another word for pattern is habit. Horsemanship is a progressive and perpetual series of habits and skills that both horses and humans need to become partners. So that's what I do. I run around the country, around the world. I just got back from Europe, went to Poland, Belgium, England, Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. And shared this, in between those places there, I had over 100 riders, and I had over 5,000 spectators. So being able to share this is really my honor, my privilege, and my honor. So I love sharing. I'm a learnaholic, and I'm also a shareaholic. So I love sharing these ideas. I want to save you a couple of decades, because in order to stay in the horse industry, we've got to get rid of the 6 F's: fear, frustration, feeling like a failure, lack of fun, and therefore lack of funds. And I see it all the time. People get horses and don't realize how much horsepower lives under that hood. Now, somebody asked me a little while ago what that was on my bridle, the top of my bridle there. It's a product called Benefab, beneficial fabric. If you go over to the booth, there's a really nice lady there named Kat. She's my partner. She broke her neck 11 years ago. Horse at a walk, tripped and fell over a rope and went down a 16-foot embankment. She wore a halo device, and for 2.5 years she was partially paralyzed in and out of paralysis. She discovered that far infrared light took the inflammation out. She wheelchaired in and walked out. She went to China and found a fabric infused with 30 lead-free minerals that reduced inflammation. She healed herself. And now she's got it for horses, humans, and dogs. She's got products. So I started using this because sliders are very sensitive horses. And horses, when they do demonstrations like this, where there's lots of clapping and lots of energy and lots of stuff like that, he used to get to her back there before they let me in. He would start to prance and get all. I just put this thing on it, and I'm not a hocus pocus person. But where I met her, I had arthritis so bad that I had to brush my teeth, I had to do it like this. And so when I bought these gloves, and 2 days later, I was back roping again. 2 months later, my 84-year-old mother had not slept for a decade. All the way through the night, the sleep for an hour, awake for 2 hours, sleep for 30 minutes, awake for 2 hours. We gave her a shawl, a little beige shawl. She fell asleep in her armchair, woke up the next morning at 7:30. For the remainder of her life, she slept every night all the way through. So anything that is natural, we're just now discovering how we can do all kinds of things naturally. So I'm here to share with you how to do things with horses naturally. But people are starting to discover nutrition naturally. People are starting to discover that some of the things that we've been doing, all the pesticides and all the things that we're doing these days that are actually very contrary to our well-being and all the pharmaceuticals that people take. So I'm just here to tell you that I'm a shareaholic. Anything, and if it works for me and it works for my mom, that was the greatest gift I was able to give my mom for the last years of her life. So what I've been able to do and share with people with horses helps people be safe, have fun, taste excellence, and then achieve excellence. Who would like to be able to ride a horse that knows how to do flying lead changes like he does once in your life? Who would like better that I can teach you how to get your horse to do that? That's what this is about. So I'm here to help you, regular people, get extraordinary results. So I'm going to share with you a couple little things. Long body logic. If I can share with you right now that you use tools and techniques that help you lengthen your body, all right? So my arm is 2.5 feet long, okay? The stick is 4 feet long, and the string is 6 feet. So all of a sudden, I can touch him way over there. I can touch him way over there. I can do things, I can be back here and influence my horse to come back with me. I can be, has you ever done this? You ever seen somebody leading a horse and he's dragging along like a husband going Christmas shopping? And then somebody goes, who's ever seen that? Who's ever done that to a horse that's not leading up? Okay? That's your instinct to do the right thing, but watch this. What if I'm leading my horse along and instead of somebody else clucking him up, what if I did this? What if I pulled on him here a little bit and touched him on his butt? What if I walked along here and then touched him on his butt? What if I don't want him over there and I put my stick out in front of me? You see, if I have a new way of thinking, a new way of walking, a new way of talking, what if I stop and back up and I just stick my stick up in the air a couple times? And then I want him to go straight, I just keep rolling it until he gets way straight behind me. And then I walk forward. This is using long body logic and horse psychology. If I want him to back up without turning, okay, I'm gonna let him make his mistake a couple times, get back there and say, if I were you, I'd stay straight there. What am I looking at right now? Oh, I got a better question. What am I not looking at? The horse, okay? I'm feeling the horse. And what I want you to learn to do is use your focus to get your feel. Get your horse to have habits of beating up, habits of getting back. This time I'm going to back up. I'm going to ask him to move his front end over. So if we learn little habits on how to put it. Actually, what you know what it is how do we push a horse? So if I can teach you, wouldn't it be cool if every kid in the world, every new horse owner, every child could stop and go, don't run me over, and the horse backed up? You see, can I show you the most unsafe way in the world to lead a horse? Watch. You ready? Who's ever seen somebody lead a horse by the snout? because this is what primates do. This is what people do. And we're monkey see, monkey do learners. And we not only, what's that saying? Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. But people spread the evil. They tell people, they show people, they tell people. They demonstrate to people how to do it wrong. So what I'd like to do is share with you, as the rest of the world, something called long body logic. Now, what I want to be able to do is have my horse become parallel to me. You see how perpendicular he is to me? He's looking at me, right? So if I'm wanting him to go in a circle, can I show you how to do that wrong? Watch. Step 1, get a horse. Step 2, get a projectile. Step 3, hit the horse on butt with projectile. And the dang horse won't stand still to let you hit him on the butt. Raise your hand if you've ever seen that cartoon. So you get clever and you sneak over here and you go, and you whack him. If you went to a restaurant and the maitre d' said, here, get in there, your table's right over there, get over there. Instead of saying like this, your table is over there, sir. You see? So the secret is to do the opposite of what everybody else does. So what I try to do is get people to understand, if you want the horse to be parallel to you, you got to tell him to be in perpendicular. So now, let's say I want him to come back. Now, I've got to push the hindquarters away and say, quit being parallel, and now be perpendicular. Stay perpendicular, and go backwards. Stay perpendicular, and go forwards. Stay perpendicular, and go backwards. Now, quit being perpendicular and move your front and become forward. Raise your hand if you're learning anything. Are you learning anything? Because if you want to do your horses at liberty, if you can't do this, that would be like learning how to write without knowing the alphabet. You've got to learn ABC. I'm here to share with you today ABC to Z. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you how to take that alphabet and how to take and get your horse and your relationship to go to an art form. Today, I want to share with you a few things. Now, let's say I want to slow him down. When I was a kid, my sister and all her friends used to play jump rope, and they'd always run out of somebody, so I had to be the person doing jump rope. So what if I put some jump rope energy down that rope and slowed him down? And I said to him, no, don't come here. So I'm going to tell him, stay out there, slow it down. Watch the jump rope. Watch the jump rope. Jump rope, jump rope, jump rope. Slowing the front end down. And pretty soon, we can start to have communication, understanding, and some psychology. And I can walk with you. And I say, that's it. Stay over there. Now let's stop. And back up. Here's the secret. Ready? You see the slack in the rope? This is how, if you don't have slack in the rope, and there is no slack in the rope, when you put your hand on the snap. Where did I learn all this? When I was 26 years old, I bought a puppy. And I took it to puppy training school. And the first thing he said was, put slack in the leash. Who's ever seen a 3-pound chihuahua leading a 300-pound person down the sidewalk? Right? I saw somebody yesterday with a Rottweiler that must have weighed 120 pounds. And it was dragging them everywhere. And I'm like, what the hell's the matter with you? Caesar Milan is one of my good friends. We've done television shows together, talked to each other on the phone once a month. He found out that doesn't work for horses. Other than that, he goes around the world trying to get people to understand you got to put slack in the leash. Then you got to have a short leash, and then a medium leash, and then a long leash. And here's the next secret. You ready? Watch. Put some steady pressure and add a little bit of energy. All right? Watch how I do this. Steady pressure, then some. So I like to say steady, then spaghetti. You ready? Watch. Steady, now spaghetti. Watch. Steady, now spaghetti. If I can get my horse doing certain things on a 12-foot rope, then if I can get this understanding, if I can walk along international rules for stopping, long body logic. Sometimes that might need food. I don't want that. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to ask him to back along that wall and slacken the rope. Long body logic. This wall is probably 600-800 feet around. It's part of the long body. So if I can start to put some slack in there. So some of the things that you're seeing. Hey, let's give all the competitors a nice applause. Aren't they great? I'm so excited to see. Okay, now I have been doing this for 4 years and 9 months. 4 years and 9 months ago, I put my first seminar on. And they thought I was the weirdest guy that ever wore a cowboy hat. I'm telling you, they called it hippie horsemanship. People criticized me. They didn't understand what I was trying to share with them. Now, over 2 million people have got to see it live and make their own decision. So what I want to share with you is how you can at home get started today. That's today's today. Now, this is a 12-foot rope, okay? So now we're going to lengthen. We're going to start getting some basics down. So what's 2 times 12? 22. So we're going to go from 22-foot rope over here. And what I want to do is I want you to understand that horses can only do 6 things besides stand still. Go forward, backwards, right, left, up, and down. by having different lengths of sticks, or sometimes we need to be up close and personal, short. Tiffany, are you there? Where's Tiffany at? Tiffany, can you bring me the 12-foot herding stick off of that saddle? Oh, I couldn't find it. That's right, there's one here. Here, let me look. I have trouble sometimes finding things. I went to husband school. I got it. They teach us. That was a joke. Okay, here we go. So I've got it. I'm good. So now, I've got 3 different types of tools here, all right? So now, you saw me riding with the 4-foot herding stick. I call them herding sticks, not hurting. The reason I don't use whips is to teach people how to push horses around, not to whip horses around. Now, we have 10 levels in my program. I teach the 4 levels. I have the world's largest train your horse at home web-based program. Over 200,000 people have tried my program around the world. 73 countries, including Texas. So, learning how to herd your horse around rather than pull him around. So let's say I want him now here to go forward, all right? In a longer rope. But here's one of the big secrets. Number 1, we got to learn how to be neutral. You see how I'm being neutral here? I'm just standing here. I'm not chasing him around in a circle. So that's number 1. Number 2, we've got to learn how to use energy here. Like out here in front. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. There we go. All right. Now let's see if we can do this. Let's say we want him to come closer. What if I came here, could reach over his back? Okay? So if I could reach over his back, ask him here, that's it. And I could ask him to come in to me closer and come around the circle. Because they've got a fisheye lens, that little butterfly out on the end out there makes a huge difference to them. So if I wanted to go out wider, I can put it more in the inside here, push him out. I can ask him here, bring him in. I could ask him to stop. I could ask him to come toward me. Do you see how I'm herding him around, even toward me? What I want you to do, I want you to know you can do this, folks. How many people saw the movie Judo Kid? Nobody? What? Karate. Okay, karate, judo, karate kid. But give me a break. Okay, who saw Karate Kid? All right. Wax on, wax off. You have to learn some specific skills. Yesterday in the demo, I shared with everyone some of the specific skills we needed to learn with the stick. Okay, so if we can learn how to do some of these things, learn how to use long body logic. Like if I want his hips to come over, see, I got to put the energy back there. If I want the front end to go over, I need to put the energy there. If I want him to go up and around me, I need to give him a suggestion and a feel here first, then ask him to go. So we can start to use different things. Now, here's a really cool thing you can do. Ready? What if you took and put the rope between, I got a light belt there. What if we got the rope and got rid of it? And we started to use a no hands situation. What if we had 2 different herding sticks? And we could ask him to go over here, we could ask him to go over there. See, we can start to do things that pretty soon, who's learning something? Okay? So, When I was 10 years old, our 4-H group went and saw an Arabian horse trainer in Dublin, California. And he had these 4 white Arabian stallions. And he had them at liberty doing all kinds of cool things. Merle Lacey was his name. And Merle Lacey, when I was 10 years old, God rest his soul, didn't realize he was influencing with inspiration and information. He was influencing the young Pat Corelli. Somebody who was going to go on and use all these things. And I remember him saying during that demonstration, he says, you know, a lot of you probably think these are pretty cool tricks. But he said, if I could share with you how horses feel, think, act, and play, then maybe you too could have that special relationship. And we can get to where this lead rope is not a lead rope, it's a safety net. We get to where, as we start to do things with our horses, that we can, I guess here's the secret. You might have learned this one in church. Idle hooves is the devil's workshop. Do you have any idea, since yesterday, how many people have come up and talk to me about their horse and the challenges they're having, the different things that they do? And the real answer is, we got to turn horseplay into horsepower. And we've got to be able to influence our horse by pushing him around in a nice way and making it fun for him. So I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to do something here called target training. Before we do the music, let me show you. So right now, I've got an idea. I want him to put his nose on that bag over there. And there's nothing in the bag that's like a cookie or anything like that. So I've just got this idea that I want him to go over there. And I'm going to kind of play with him. You ever play that game with children? You're getting warmer, right? So right now, he's getting, the worst thing he can do is smell that poop. How many people are at a horse who go to do something, they want to smell the poop? What I want him to do, now watch, I want you to look at him. Did you see him look back at me like, is this what you want, Dad? Who saw it? What we want is bonding, obedience, and exuberance. We want to be able to use different targets. Now, horses always have a target in mind. Who's ever owned a horse that the barn was always his target? Who's owned a horse that the gate was his target? Who's owned a horse that the other horses were his target? That's the devil talking, folks. All right, so I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to bring in a big green target. We're going to have a little fun, see what we can get done. Okay? Music, Mr. Music Man. Give me some music. Nice and loud.
I'm having meetings up here.
I'm putting on a show down here.